So you guys have been ordering numbers since like first and second grade, like 2, 3, 4, right? Every year it just gets a little more challenging, and what's going to be different this year is it's going to have rational and irrational numbers. But y'all shouldn't even care because you have a calculator. It's going to do all the work for you, okay? So this says to order real numbers, convert all the numbers to the same form. Convert all the numbers to the same form. Decimals are usually the easiest. Decimals are usually the easiest. In my class, we're going to always use decimals. To put fractions in decimal form, who can tell me what buttons we push? What do we got to hit first? We got to hit something before that. Alpha. Now what? Y equals. That's an A. Alpha, Y equals. Then we put our fraction in. And then we arrow out. And then we hit what button? Math. Then go down to decimal. And then enter. So if you forget today, we just wrote it down. Okay, we're going to mark out the next bullet point because we're going to do all fractions in alpha y equals. Just put one line through it. Now, who remembers how to change a percent to a decimal? What did we do? We put it over 100. So we're still going to do alpha y equals, but we're going to put the percent over 100. Then we're going to arrow out and hit math, decimal, enter. So it's almost the same as doing a fraction, isn't it? We're just going to take the percent and put it over 100. Then math, decimal, enter. Got it? Everybody got it? All right, mark this next part out. I'm going to teach y'all a different trick. You're going to write the numbers in order from least to greatest or greatest to least, and we're going to write them back in their original number. And I'll explain that. Okay, so let's look at the first example. Do these numbers look manageable? They look crazy, don't they? But what's going to fix everything for us? The calculator. Okay? So our first job is to change each of these numbers to a decimal. Now, here's what I want y'all to say. I want y'all to listen. As a whole 8th grade class, y'all struggle at place value. But y'all know what y'all are really good at? Money. Y'all agree? So when we change these to decimals, a trick to help you is we're going to write them looking like money. Okay? So I want you to go put the first number in your calculator, and you're going to put it in exactly how you see it, which is 2 square root 2.7. So type in 2. I should see everybody typing with me. Do y'all remember how to get to square root? Second, and then this button. And then, what is it? 2.7. Are we okay? That number is basically $3 and some change. Yes? If we write all of these decimal place value, we start to get confused as 8th graders. So I want you to make it look like money. Where does money stop? 2 decimal places. And if you don't round correctly, you'll still get it right. So you can either put $3.28 or you can round correctly, and that 6 says 5 or more, that becomes a, so $3.98, excuse me, $3.29. Now stop. You have to be organized and you have to use your best handwriting. So you're going to write that number right above where it originally was. So I'm going to write $3.29. If you don't write legibly, it's not going to help you because you won't know what you wrote. Now, I like to draw a line between the numbers so I see that this is the next number. If that's what helps you, you do it too, and you don't have to. Now we're going to change the next number to a decimal and make it look like money. All right, so alpha y equals 36/11. I don't see everybody doing it with me. Arrow out, math, decimal, enter. I got to make it look like money though. Do y'all agree? What do I write? Perfect. $3.27. Now, look at the next number. Is it already a decimal?
Yes.
Does it look like money?
Yes.
Yes. What does that negative sign mean in money? Tell me what it means, though, in money. Do you have the money in your pocket?
No.
What does it mean? If I have negative,
Yeah.
I owe money. I have debt. A negative sign in money means I owe somebody money. Does everybody understand what that means? I'm just going to write it because it's already good to go. Negative 3.13. And if you need to write it below it because you're out of room, you can. Okay, how do we change a percent to a decimal? We wrote it up in our notes. Go look. Put it over 100. But we got to do alpha y equals. So alpha y equals, put the percent on top. So 328. Put 100 on bottom. Arrow out. Math, decimal, enter. $3.28. Now, I want to clarify something with you guys. If y'all all would look at the screen, everybody's eyes on the board. This is the negative button. All day today, I've been seeing students hit this. What is this?
Minus.
That's subtract, minus. Do not hit that for negative. Okay? So let's go put this one in. So negative, alpha y equals option 2, 3 1/3. So math, decimal, enter. How much money? Was it positive or negative?
Negative.
So I owe somebody $3.33. Was that hard? Absolutely not. All you did was push buttons on the calculator. Do y'all agree? Now, it wants us to order from least to greatest. Who can tell me what will always be worth the least? Positives or negatives? Who can tell me? Negatives will always be worth the least. Is this where you sit? Okay. Just pick up where we are. Okay, now, here's where students mess up. Are y'all listening? They think 313 is less than 333 because in positives, that's true, but not in negatives. So let's talk about why. Let's talk about why. What did we say a negative money is like? debt. I owe somebody money. The more money I owe, the what? The less money I have. Are y'all with me? So if I owe somebody $10 and he owes somebody $100, who's better off? Me, because I owe less. Do you see what I'm saying? He owes more, so he has less money. So negatives are totally different from positives. Do y'all see? So the higher the number is, the lower the value with a negative. Okay? So out of these two negatives, I'm going to highlight them so y'all can see them. Out of this negative and this negative, which one of those would you owe more money? So guess what? That one is worth
More than
that's
that.
okay, let's re-say it. The more money I owe, the less I have. Which one do I owe more? That means this is worth
Wait, what?
it's worth less. Thank you. Upset. Thank you. Okay. The more money you owe, the less you have. Let's say it again. The more money I owe, I owe more. Y'all agree? So it's worth less. So this one goes first because I'm going least. Okay? Now I have to write it in its original number. Which one was the original number? -3 and 1/3. Now mark it out that you did it. Now which one has to come next? My other negative. $3.13. Negative $3.13. Now I can deal with my positives, and you guys rock and roll with positives, usually. So out of my positives, which one's the least? 329, 327, or 328? 327. So 36 over 11. Mark it out. Now which one's smaller? 328, so 328%. And then this one, 2 square root 2.7. And that's your answer. They're all in order from least to greatest. Got it? Let's go to the next one. We're only going to do 2 more examples so that you'll have time. Okay? What are we going to change all of these to? What are we going to make them look like? All right, here we go. The square root of 72. How much money is that worth? $8.49 if I round. So $8.49. Who can tell me what this bar means? Does anybody remember? It means it repeats. So this number is 8.36363636, and it keeps going. But if I'm going to write it like money, what am I going to write? $8.36. Good. All right. How do I change a percent to a decimal? Put it over. So alpha y equals 840 over 100. Now what do I do? Arrow out. Math. Decimal. Enter. Now stop. This is where y'all are going to mess up if you mess up. Does that look like money? No. That does not look like money. So how can I make it look like money and not change the value? Add a 0 at the end. It is now $8.40, not 4 pennies. So $8.40. And then this one. 93.11. Math, decimal, enter. How much money? $8.45. Are any of these negatives? No. So if you miss this one, we got a problem. This is probably 4th grade right here, now that we've changed them to decimals, right? Okay, so which one of these is worth, well, first of all, does it want us to go least to greatest or greatest to least? Okay, so which one is the smallest value? All right, so I've got to write it in its original form. So I write 8.36 with the repeating bar over. Mark it out that you've done it. Now which one's next? This one. Okay, and then out of these two? Yep, so 93/11ths. And then the last one has to be the square root of 72. Last example. We're going to change all of these to what? All right, here we go. Where's the negative button in your calculator? Below the 3. All right, here we go. Negative. Alpha y equals option 2. 7 and 7/10. Math. Decimal inner. Does that look like money? I got to add a... Do I have money or do I owe money? Okay, I owe $7.70. Is the next one already done for you? I don't need to do anything. Does it look like money? All right, I'm good. I'm just going to leave it. Don't go trying to change the number, guys, okay? If it's already a decimal, you're good to go. All right, negative square root 61. How much money do I owe? Okay, don't forget that negative sign, okay? And the last one, negative alpha y equals. Tab out, math, decimal inner. How much do I owe? Perfect, $7.56. Now, is this question more challenging than the last? Yes. Why? They're negatives. They're all negatives. So let's talk about negatives again. Negatives are like owing money, and the more money I owe, the less I have. So I'm looking to go from
the least to greatest.
So I'm looking for the one I owe the most because it's worth the least. Which one of these would you owe the most money? So it goes first because it is worth the... I owe the most, so I have the least. Okay? The more money I owe, the less money I have. So I owe the most here. Mark it out. Now which one out of the ones that are left do you owe the most? $7.70. So negative 7 and 7/10. Mark it out. Now out of these two, which one do I owe the most? So negative 68/9. And then the last one is going to be negative 7.16. If you don't understand them owing money, put it on a number line. The further left you go, the least the value. The further right you go, the greater the value. Does that make sense? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, let me pass out the assignment.